do have breaking news about President Biden's nomination vote. Leader Schumer and Leader Jeffries both pushing the party to delay the nominating process. Now, let's get straight to our senior White House correspondent, Selena Wang. She is with the president on the trail there, the campaign trail in Las Vegas. Selena, just bring us up to date. What do you know about this delay in nomination?
Yeah, look, well, we know that the DNC has agreed to somewhat delay this virtual nomination process from originally as early as this Sunday now to August 1st. As you say, you have top-ranking Democrats also calling for that delay. There were serious concerns within the party that they were rushing through with this nomination. There was a draft letter circulating among some Democrats that was basically saying this is undermining the morale in the party and that they wanted more time to debate this and figure out if President Biden is the best person to be at the top of the ticket. And we've got a major new development, Kira, here when it comes to these public calls for President Biden to step aside. You now have Representative Adam Schiff, who's one of the highest profile Democrats, publicly calling for President Biden to drop out of the race. Now, Kira, this is a really big deal, and it's a big blow to President Biden because he's a longtime supporter of the president, and he's also a very close ally of former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. So I want to read to you the statement because this is important. He says, quote, "A second Trump presidency will undermine the very foundation of our democracy, and I have serious concerns about whether the president can defeat Donald Trump in November. While the choice to withdraw from the campaign is President Biden's alone, I believe it is time for him to pass the torch, and in doing so, secure his legacy of leadership by allowing us to defeat Donald Trump in the upcoming election." So here, Representative Schiff is saying out loud what many Democrats have been saying in private, but the president, of course, is still plowing ahead with his campaign. He is adamant he is staying in this race. He's going to take the stage behind me.
Symptoms are mild, says the White House, but it's terrible timing to be sidelined as even more Democrats come out against his re-election bid. The latest, prominent House Democrat Adam Schiff, the highest profile lawmaker to demand Biden step aside. Biden has been one of the most consequential presidents in our nation's history, Schiff told the LA Times. But I have serious concerns about whether the president can defeat Donald Trump. Another high-profile Democrat, Senator Cory Booker, didn't go that far, but said,
"I trust this man. He will make the right decision."
Since his disastrous debate performance nearly 3 weeks ago, more than 20 Democratic lawmakers have said publicly Biden should not run. But the president continues to fight back, reportedly lashing out, saying, "I don't want to hear that crap," to lawmakers expressing concerns voters won't back him. And in his latest interview, Biden says there's only one reason he'd stand down.
If there had some medical condition that emerged, if the doctors came to me and said, "You got this problem, that problem."
But many voters say they want him off the ticket now. One recent poll suggesting 70% of Americans don't have confidence in Biden's mental capacity, and that 2/3 of Democrats want a new candidate.
I'm deeply concerned that the president's circle, the people who, quite frankly, have kept him in a bubble for some time, are also not giving him the facts.
Despite the criticism, the Democratic National Committee still plans on nominating Biden virtually ahead of the party's August convention, critics suggesting it's a bid to lock in Biden's candidacy. Divisions deepening with the president now in isolation off an increasingly fraught campaign trail. Ellen Morrow, CBC News, Toronto.
Nolan tonight, who's covered several of these incidents over the years. Nikki, what did he say?
Rory, Pat told me today's events remind him of the assassinations of Robert Kennedy and MLK, and likened this attempt to that of FDR and Ronald Reagan, adding that this could be a sign of just how polarized things have become in our country.
You begin to get worried when you see how polarized things are that somebody will decide to take action. Let's hope nobody else decides to do that.
He did say this will likely change things down the road, especially in an election season. He expects Secret Service to do a deep dive into what went wrong here, with safety measures ramping up, and says this could also sway certain voters.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised when something like this happens that there's not some reason that President Trump's numbers will go up to some degree, but it'd have to be among undecideds and people that haven't really made up their minds yet.
Now, lastly, Nolan says Trump's reaction in the moments after being shot could be very telling.
I suspect President Trump will be back out on the campaign trail, and that will, if if you think his supporters that show up at his rallies are ardent before, they'll be particularly ardent in the future for this. And you saw even as he left the state tonight, he was putting his hand up. He was telling the crowd he was okay, but he was also indicating he was going to continue to fight.
Hey, hello, we come to the end already. Have you subscribed yet? Yes, press the subscribe button and the like button and the share button. Thank you and have a nice day.